Hello and welcome to Momivate Momversations. I'm Regan Barnes and I've been hosting Momversations for a couple of years now, off and on as it works out with the rest of the journeys of motherhood as well as running a nonprofit. And we are so glad that we've developed a new platform or a new idea of how to run these conversations. We used to call in experts and people who would just tell us all of the right ways to do things. And in a lot of ways, that was enlightening. But in some ways, it got a little bit hard to hear all of that coming at us and finding all the ways that we weren't necessarily living up to those expertise
Right.
things. So now we're kind of turning that on its heads, and we're acknowledging the expertise of each mother as an individual mom, and that in her moments of motherhood, whether they are idealistic or not, she is still the expert for her own child and for her own situation. Moms, of course, are extremely unique. Every situation, even if you have the same number of children and they're all the same gender and same ages, it's still an extremely unique journey. And we feel like there's just a lot to be gained by just sharing with each other and finding commonalities, but also being able to acknowledge differences in a positive way, that it's okay if we aren't all doing things the way the experts say.
Right.
So I'm so grateful that Kylee has been willing to open up and be her real self, with us today. Um, and I think that it'll be a cool thing for other moms listening to feel like it's not motherhood isn't about perfection. It's simply about being committed to our kids and doing our best and letting our kids know that we love them in the ways that we can.
Yeah.
So I'd like to introduce Kylee a little bit. I know that you have one daughter,
Yes.
little Stevie.
Yep. She is almost 2, and she is currently right now smashing her Fruit Loops all over the hardwood floor behind this. So this is so fun. She is the epitome of a toddler, and she
Awesome.
is feisty and funny and stubborn, and we wouldn't have her any other way.
Right, right. And I think sometimes when I'm noticing some characteristics of my kids, I have to realize that I'm really looking in the mirror.
Yes.
They come by it honestly.
Oh,
Um,
100%.
so
Yes.
that's fun. I love that she's available right now. She might even join us as part of the podcast as we
I know.
continue.
I'm sure she'll pop in. She loves to be on camera. She loves to be the center of attention. So I'm sure at some point she will just be right over here wanting to chit chat and show off her toys and all the things. So,
Fantastic. Fantastic. And tell us a little bit about your pre-mom life.
so before I was a mom, I was also kind of a mom in a sense. So I am the oldest of 6. And I always, from the time I was little, probably 2, if you ask my mom, loved babies. Always had a baby doll toting around. I loved to babysit. I loved being like the mom to my other siblings. Even now, like my little sister just went off to college. I went and helped her move in. She's been texting me all the questions instead of my mom. And it's just always been a dream. I worked in labor and delivery for, oh gosh, 7 or 8 years.
Wow.
I worked doing that while I was pregnant with her, and then for about a year after I had her, and then almost a year ago quit, and I'm staying home with her full time. But labor and delivery was so fun for me. It gave me such an insight to pregnancy and birth and motherhood, and it really like solidified in me that I wanted to be a mom like above anything else. And so
Wow.
that was really really cool for me to see. Pre-mom, I probably was a lot more fun in a sense, I guess you would say. I stayed up past like 9:30 and it was great. And now she goes to bed and I'm like, I'm ready for bed. Good night, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow.
funny how
So
we come to value sleep
yes,
differently.
yes, exactly, especially when you have an almost 2-year-old who still doesn't sleep through the night. I'm like, "I will take it where I can get it, when I can get it, it doesn't matter. I'll take a quick nap in the car if my husband's driving, like, little
Yeah.
quick 30-second close my eyes, and I'm ready to go."
Nice.
But, yeah, that's kind of it.
Oh, I love it. Um, well, let's see. So you have this background of loving children and
Uh-huh.
motherhood from the get-go. So was there anything that struck you as like unexpected as you made the transition from just seeing children and moms around to being the mom and having your own child with like
Yeah,
what caught you off?
I you always hear people talk about, and I think especially like working in labor and delivery and hearing people talk about their birth stories or just other women, other moms, you hear a lot of the times like there was this instant connection with this baby and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I instantly was connected and bonded and loved this baby." And I really struggled. I was so excited when we found out we were pregnant with her, and but for the first trimester of my pregnancy, I had a really hard time, I think, because I also had worked in labor and delivery being like this, I'm pregnant, this is my baby, and then especially postpartum with her, I really really struggled feeling like she was mine. And that was something I didn't expect because you
Yeah.
always hear all these women, I had this instant connection with my baby and I was so bonded. And I vividly remember one night like sitting there and it was such a beautiful moment. She's laying on my chest and my husband and I are laying in bed and I was like, when is her mom coming to get her? Like this is a very long babysitting gig. I was like, I don't feel like she's mine. I just kind of feel like I'm babysitting right
Yeah.
now. And I think I was so almost used to being like the older sister type thing that it was hard for me to transition from no, this is my baby.
Yeah.
Like I get to call the shots kind of thing, she's mine. And don't get me, I was so protective over her, like almost to a fault. People came over and I was like, I don't want anybody holding her. I don't want anybody touching her. Don't breathe in her direction. Probably doesn't
Mhm.
help that she was also born during like RSV and flu season. So I was very hyper vigilant. But it just, that was really unexpected for me because I truly thought I was going to have this instant connection. And then it took quite a while for me to feel like, "Oh, no, she's my baby, like, that she's mine, she's my daughter." And then once that happened, it was just I can't even really pinpoint the moment it happened, but when it did, it was just it's been the best ever since, so
My kids are really into this movie soundtrack specifically right now called K-pop Demon Hunters. It's the funniest title. Um,
I've never heard of that.
and the funny thing is, so these are my 7 and 10-year-old girls.
Uh-huh.
Um, but their big brother, who's a high schooler, came home from high school and was like, "Mom, this is crazy. Everybody at high school is also into K-pop Demon Hunters." Like, I thought this was just my little sisters, but
Right? It's so funny.
so I got the soundtrack in my head. And one of the things they say is, we can't fix it if we don't face it.
Yes.
And I feel like that, even though you're like having to be really vulnerable with us to say, I had this moment where I was just like, when is the mom gonna come?
Yes,
Take
yes,
me.
exactly.
I feel like that might have been a turning point because you were able to face it.
Yes,
And so, I mean, I'm sure it was all very gradual,
right.
but it was upon being willing to kind of confess, right?
Yeah,
Something that you might have been embarrassed about or something, right?
yeah.
But um but that was maybe the beginning of being able to work with it. And were there steps that you took to try to build the bonding? Was there anything conscientious that you did?
I think I really like tried to what do you have now? Thank you. You want it open? I'm so sorry. I think I really just tried to just kind of remind myself every moment like nope, she's your baby. And my husband was really good about it too, especially with people coming over and like setting boundaries. I think really really helped me. People would be all the time like, "Oh, can we come over? Can we bring you dinner?" And as her mom, I wanted to say, no, like we need a break. I don't want people coming over. But then
Mhm.
also the part of me who was like, well, I don't feel like I'm her mom. But my husband was very supportive and was like, no, you're the mom. You can call the shots right now. And I think
Yeah.
that was a really big deal. And just doing things with her also that I loved doing myself. Like we're very big Utah Utes fans in our house. We took her to football games. I started taking her with me to just like go and get my nails done or just like little things that just kind of solidified that bond, I feel like. And so now she does everything with me. Everything. So
Yes, that's the best. I love
yes.
that.
Yes.
That's awesome. Well, cool. So as you've transitioned now into feeling that bond and feeling
Mhm.
more maternal,
Yes.
would you say there are moments of motherhood that have made you feel proud?
Oh, for sure, 100%. She is wicked smart. She won't even be 2 until October. She's counting to 10. She will kinda,
Ooh,
like, sing the ABCs with you, or the
my goodness.
newest thing that is so funny to me, she will sing Let It Go, like, full
Oh my
blast with the arms and everything, and it is something so little, but I'm like, it's so fun to just see her personality
yeah.
grow and develop, and there's
Oh wow.
also I'm proud of her, but then I'm also, I feel like, kinda proud of myself for being able to teach her these things, and it's also taught me, like, a lot of patience too, because she is so smart, she knows how to test boundaries, and so to be able to take a breath and, put myself kind of in her mind and be like, "She doesn't understand, she's only 2," and that has made me really proud too. But I think just like her existence in general makes me so proud because I mean, every mom says this, but I genuinely feel like she is the most beautiful, smartest little girl ever. And I can just see her moving mountains in the future. And that makes me so happy and so proud to know that like I helped create this life that I really hope just changes the world. So,
Oh, yeah. And it's changed your world already.
yes, yes.
That's awesome. I love hearing that. That's so great.
Yes.
And that you were able to connect both the pride in her as a daughter, but also in yourself. That is something to be proud of, is the
Yeah.
mother you are and the influence that you're having with her.
Yeah.
All right, let's pretend that there is a mom. Maybe pretend you were back in that labor and delivery,
Mhm.
and you could just sense as you brought the baby to the mom, after maybe she wanted a good night's sleep,
Yes.
but you brought the baby in the next morning, and you can just sense the overwhelm. What kind of pieces of advice would you want to share with that mom? And maybe not right in the newborn stage, but just
Right.
whenever you come across an overwhelmed mom, what would you say?
I think I also kind of try and think back to like myself as a new overwhelmed mom. The biggest thing that I wish I could go back and tell myself and I could tell any other mom is it's okay to ask for help. It does not make you weak. It does not make you a bad mom. I mean, you hear it all the time. It takes a village. And I think back to like, gosh, like think like the pioneer ancestors. They had all these other women around them all the time. And, they all raised their kids together. And it truly, truly takes a village. And it is okay to ask for help, whether it be, telling your husband, hey, I really need you to get up and help me change the diapers in the middle of the night. I know you want to sleep. Or it was very hard for me. I also feel like to ask my mom for help because
Oh,
I didn't want her to think that I didn't know what I was doing, but then I also
yeah.
think back like I guarantee she had to ask my grandma for help and some nights and or even other mom friends or just get out of the house too. I know it's so hard, but even if it's something just as little as put the baby in the car seat, go get a swig, go get a coffee, just go do something, get out of the house. It makes such a difference because especially I feel like in the newborn days, it can become very routine. Did you poop? Perfect. All right. It can become very routine, very mundane in the newborn days and just kind of switching it up and getting out. But I really think the biggest thing for an overwhelmed person, an overwhelmed mom, is just ask for help. Someone to just come sit and hold the baby while you shower, or say, I guarantee there's so many people who would be willing to come and wash your dishes for you so you don't have to worry about it, or just little things, someone to help you get out of the house. I totally get that. It is hard, but it's okay to ask for help. It does not make you weak at all.
I love that. I'm so glad you shared that. That's a great way to help the moms see beyond the little cloud that envelops us when newbornness is just suffocating almost. So,
Yes, yes, exactly. Like it's so beautiful and it's so fun, but it is, you kind of do live in your own little world and it's very hard to see outside of it. So,
uh-huh. Yeah.
yes.
So you're reminding them that the world does still exist out there and that they can
Yes.
be part of it. I love
Yes.
here at Momivate, we do like the idea of moms being the primary caregiver when possible, and yet we don't like the term "stay-at-home mom." We feel like that's almost derogatory, like you're talking to a
Yes.
like stay at home,
Yes.
and
Oh my gosh, that's the last thing I want to do is stay at home all day. I want
yeah,
to get out.
it sends these subliminal messages that you are
Yes.
a prisoner in your own four walls, and
Yes.
like I said, we really do love the idea of a mom feeling like she's the main care provider, and yet at the
Yes.
same time that she can live a life outside of
Yeah.
her home, and she can.
Yes.
So we say full time mom, and we feel like that's a good way to
I
kind of.
like that. I need to start using that because I definitely feel like now that I am a full-time mom, when I tell people that, they're like, "Oh," and they kind of act like, "Well, what do you do all day?" I'm like, "If you only knew what I did all day, you would be exhausted too."
That's right.
Yes.
That's a good point. Good.
I know you want the doggies. We'll get the doggies in a minute, okay? They are not outside. So-
Oh, and are these your pets? Do you have like
Yes, yes, we have two dogs.
two dogs? Steve, what
Doggies.
are your dogs' names?
Can you
What are
say
your
Ruger and Remy?
oh, those are great names.
Thank you.
Now, were the dogs part of your family before the human
Yes.
babies? Yeah, the fur
Yes.
babies first, and then
Yep. Yep, they were. We've had Ruger since 2020. He was our COVID puppy. And then
cool.
Remy, we got the same week we actually found out we were pregnant with her. And I was like, we're crazy. Why not? Let's just do it all.
Wow, that's
But
great. Was
they're,
there a transition period in bringing home the
you know
human
what?
baby?
We really thought that they were going to struggle and be jealous. You can't hold my phone right now. I'm sorry. Can you go find Elsa for me, please? Yeah. Okay, go see. Okay, go see. I know. We really thought there was going to be a transition period where they were going to be jealous because they are so clingy and very much like they want to be lap dogs. They're huge. They're like 60-pound doodles.
Oh
But
dear.
oh yes, we brought her home and they could have cared less. They were just like, whatever, it's just another person in the house. And I couldn't have asked for a better transition because I really was nervous they were going to be very jealous, but they were not. So,
Well, I'm really glad to hear that. Yeah, doodles are known for a good disposition, so I'm glad that
yes,
turned out that
yes.
way with a baby. That's cool.
Yes, it worked out very well.
All right. I'm curious to know about that moment when you found out you were pregnant with her. You were saying you had a dog that week too. When
Yes.
you, um, so how was it that you processed through that recognition that life was changing forever?
Oh gosh. Well, so It was a whirlwind day of emotions. So we had been trying, and when I took the test that morning, it was like the very first day that you could maybe get a positive. And I took the test and I sat there and I waited and I was home alone. I was like, it's gonna be fine. And I looked and it was negative and I cried. I was so emotional about it because I was like, I want a baby so bad. We felt like we were ready. We had been together for quite a while. And I was like, this is it. I'm ready. Like I feel like God is telling me there's gonna be a baby, it's gonna be okay. And it was negative. And I had a really hard day about it. And I was supposed to go to work that night. And so I tried to take a little bit of a nap, went into the bathroom and was getting ready. And something told me, like, oh, just look at it one more time. And so I pulled the test out of the garbage, so gross, and looked, and I could see a very faint line. And I was like, there's no way
Wow.
that's real. That's from like 12 hours ago. Maybe I'll
Wow.
take another one. And I took another one. And again, I saw the faintest little line, and I about fell over flat on my floor. And I was like, there is no way. And I kind of started panicking and I called my very best friend who was at work at the time. And I was like, I have to show you this. Please tell me you see it too. And she goes, oh my gosh, Kylie, yes, you're pregnant. Like, this is amazing. And I was like, there's no way. This isn't real. Like, this is fake. It was negative this morning. There's no way. And I went to work that night, worked a whole 12-hour night shift with like this little secret. I was like, nobody knows, just me and my friend Abby. And
Not even
gosh,
your
no, my husband had no idea. He was texting me all night, just like, how's the night going? How are you doing? I'm like, I'm doing better. Like, he still thought it was negative. He had no idea and came home that morning. He went to work. So I lived like a whole 24 hours of just him not knowing. Came home, had this cute little sign set up. He was so excited. He didn't believe me, but I pulled
uh-huh.
the tests up and he goes, that counts? That line is so faint. That counts? And I was like, yes, it counts. It's still two lines. But
That's
I just think from that moment, like we were so excited, I think. And so just from that moment, it wasn't just the two of us and the dogs anymore. It was this other little life, this little person, and we had just immediately started dreaming. We were like, "Well, what do you think it is? Do you think it's a boy? Do you think it's a girl?" Meanwhile, I'm only like 4 weeks pregnant. I'm like, "Who knows? Nobody knows." But we'd get these little signs. I'm like, "I don't know. I think it's a boy. I think it's a girl." And we just knew, I kind of think from that moment that life had changed. And then we had a scare with her at about 12 weeks. I started bleeding really
oh,
heavily
oh dear.
and went into the ER and we thought I was having a miscarriage. And we were so scared. We had just found out that she was a girl. We had just the day before had like my 12-week appointment and seen her on the ultrasound moving, and she looked like at 12 weeks they look like a real baby. They're not just like a little gummy bear anymore, like she. And so we were so scared. I was like, we had already picked out her name and I was like, Cameron, we can't. She's ours. And so when we saw her and we heard her heartbeat on that ultrasound, that really, really was like our life has changed forever. We were so protective over her from that moment on. And I know, baby. And so it wasn't just us anymore. It was us and this little baby, and we were gonna do everything we could to protect her and keep her safe. And we had a couple more scares throughout my pregnancy. She really gave me a run for my money, but she's here and she's perfect. And yeah,
Oh.
we wouldn't have it any other way. So
Well, I love that. And I think for our very last question, I'm just going to give you the chance to share your dreams for her future. What do you foresee for your beautiful daughter?
I I hope that she never loses her spunk. She from like I said, from 12 weeks in the womb, she was spunky. She put us through the ringer. She had me admitted multiple times in the hospital, and but when she wants something, she will make it happen. And I hope she never loses that spunk and her determination and her sweet just countenance. She is so sweet and she loves everybody. She takes a minute to warm up, but the second she does, she is your best friend. And I hope that when she is an adult and she goes out into the world, that she continues to see the good in people. Just that childlike innocence of most people are good. Most people really are good. And I hope that she moves mountains. I hope that she, gosh, it's going to make me cry. It makes me emotional. I hope that she grows up with a mom too who is present, and I hope she knows that I would do anything for her, that I would move mountains for her if I had to. And I hope she grows up to just change the world and also help the world see that most people really are good, and we live in a crazy world right now. We are in some crazy times, and I just hope that she is the good, that she can be the good, and that she chases her dreams and she continues to love princesses as much as she does and love animals. And that I hope she never stops calling dogs dogs. I hope that it's always dogs from here on out, that she's in college one day doing whatever she does and it's always dogs. And I also hope that one day she sleeps through the night for both her good and my good. And but
That's great.
I
Oh,
wish all the best for her, like any
well,
mom does. So
yeah, that's beautiful. Well put. Well put.
thank
Thank
you.
you for sharing those, and other moms who are listening. It sounds like Kylee is willing to let you steal a few of those ideas. She said, like any mom. So here you go.
Yes. Yes, please take them. Take them.
Little by little, this we can, as the moms, we can have an influence on the next generation and
Yes.
helping them see the good and be the good.
Yes.
I love
Yes.
it. Well, thank you so much for joining with us today. And I just hope other moms listening have felt of your enthusiasm
I hope
uh,
so too.
for motherhood, despite kind of a rough start, you know?
Yes.
That progress is possible if we find
Yes.
ourselves in that sort of rut, that we can
Yeah.
move forward and be the kind of mom that we want to be. So
Yes.
thank
I
you
hope
again.
so too. Thank you for having me. Thank you so much. This was great. So I really appreciate it.
All right. Bye bye.
Thanks.